says, "Oh, okay, if I go into the basement first, then back out and into the east wing, then don't even go into the west wing until after, and all that kind of stuff." Um, it's really cool to see that stuff evolve, and I'm really glad that we didn't make it so. For instance, you had to read the note about the secret door before you could even click on the secret door, because it would have shut down so many of those opportunities for people to play in interesting ways and express their mastery over the space that they've gained by playing the game.
Challenges.
Challenges. Was there anything in here? Yeah, there was, and I already listened to it. So yeah, at this point, now that we've listened to everything else and we've crashed twice, I think this is as good a time as any just to wrap up. Hopefully quickly, just because I'd rather not, crash again. Was there anything in here generally about the gnomes and stuff? Ooh. My costume. Was there anything in the sewing table? Sewing table. Reveal yourself unto me, sewing table. Yeah, that's not gonna happen. Okay, just up to the roof. Alright, and we head up. Hello, Christmas duck.
You want to talk about a place for Christmas Duck?
This is where Christmas Duck goes.
Oh, it's Christmas Duck's little house.
It's his little house. That's where he goes. He goes into it.
There was something that I always assumed would happen. I know that some people did do it because we got tweets, like on the day of release or whatever, of people referring to this.
Right.
But kind of based on the gnome in Half-Life 2, Episode 2, or whatever, and just a general, I think, instinct to take the first kind of personified thing that you encounter and
drag it around the house with you.
Yeah, try to take it to the end of the, take it all the way there with you or whatever. I knew that some people were going to take Christmas Duck all the way from the beginning of the game to the end of the game, and that we needed to pay that off somehow. I used the putback system that in almost all cases is just used to, okay, you pick up a Kleenex box and now you can put it back where you got it. But in reality, I can put one of those putback triggers anywhere in the game that I want. So there's one putback trigger for Christmas Duck where you initially pick him up, and then I put another putback trigger for Christmas Duck here. But yeah, if you bring Christmas Duck up here, you get Katie's interaction prompt that says, "There you go, Christmas Duck," and you put him back in his little nest, and he gets to go back to his home at the end of the game.
Good old Christmas Duck.
Mwah.
I think this is one where I love the way the music makes it so uplifting. Because it starts out in this very, sad point where it's sort of just like, you kind of don't know what, I don't know, to me it was very emotionally ambiguous in a sense. I mean, she's saying, like, oh my god, I can't believe it, like something's happened, something's gone wrong. And as she kind of unravels the story about how she missed the first two calls, which then take you right back to one of the first things you probably do when you get in the house was find the voice recorder. So I love how it loops it around, and then it starts building this positive feeling of, like, how this isn't the end. And we are going to see each other again, and there's this wonderful elation that she sort of dawns on in a funny way. And that, yeah, it's just, it's so hopeful, and it's really nice to connect to that and just try and express a little bit of levity after so much weight has built up over the course of her life in this little window.
It's one of those things where we had always wanted to, well, we had wanted to pay off Sam's darkroom by letting you go in it and see photos that she had taken. And B, this this started from a point of me just being like, oh, we'll end the game the same way we ended Minerva's Den. It'll be fine. But between those two things, we initially figured we were signing up for photos that would have taken a lot of time and effort to make, of like a photo strip of the two of them in a photo booth, which would mean like let's do 4 pairs of photo painted photos of these characters, and just like pictures of them in the mirror together, and all of this very high cost facial rendering basically for Carla to do, because we had we had this style that was like, okay, you do photo collage and then you paint it over to make it look consistent, and it's a lot of work, and it's hard to get the pieces and the lighting and the poses and everything looking right.
I'm just not that much of a pro in order to be able to do that fast, and so it would have been months.
Yeah, so we have the one very close-up photo of Lonnie's eye, and then we just brainstormed what are evocative images of the two of them and their life that we could create without having to show their faces a bunch. And I think that, like so many things, taking a step back and only seeing the implication of these characters is probably a lot more powerful than if we had just made a bunch of pictures of them looking at the camera.
Being less literal is definitely more meaningful in this particular case.
Yeah.
To the extent that I remember when I took these holding hands photos with Rachel. I don't know. I took 20, a dozen, something like that, different versions of them, and then I was going through them afterward to try and find the one that I wanted to use to Photoshop in the letters on the heart and everything. And I found myself thinking, oh, these are all so sweet. And like, I had just taken them 10 minutes ago with my roommate, and it was just like, somehow this here is more evocative and meaningful than a happy face, I guess. But anyway, I was fooled by my own shtick, which is extremely silly.
Come on. No.
So this is the last room in the game, or at least the last room chronologically in the story.
You made it.
You did it! Yeah, this is where you find Sam's journal that you had been hearing diary entries from. And it's revealed, or I guess implied retroactively, that, the game has been taking place in a flashback, basically, and Katie read Sam's diary that was addressed to her and is now thinking back to what she saw in the house. So thanks for playing through with commentary mode and listening to us and Yonaman and Kate and Sarah Grayson and Chris Remo and Corin Tucker from Heavens to Betsy and Slater Kinney, who, again, thank you to her for taking her time to record some of her recollections and thoughts for this. But yeah, just thanks for playing, and we hope that you got something good out of all of our jibber jabber.
I did.
It's okay if you
indeed.
didn't.
It was fun.
Bye, everybody. Bye.
Goodbye. We love you.
Yeah, I guess.
I messed it up. Everyone. Alright, so knocked it over again. Alright, everybody. This is the end of the road, I suppose. I suppose now you're thinking the same thing I'm thinking. Well, now what? Now I know what game I'm playing next, definitely. However, I currently do not have possession of it, and in order to download the game and purchase the game and what have you, would take most likely the entire night. So, what I'm going to have you beautiful people do is is going to be Nero. I don't remember what the acronym is, but it's going to be on here. Probably. So I get paid. So next week we're not going to have Rook on the Rocks, or at least not one where I'm playing a game. We might have Rook books, where I'll just take any stories that you guys want read, not necessarily even stories, anything you want read. Like if you want me to read something super ridiculous and stupid or something, I'll definitely do it. I don't have any dignity left. Watch as I ruin all of these pictures. Voila! Oh, they changed the bulb. Now it's a sex bulb. Yeah. So yeah. Tonight, it is 10:40 Eastern Standard Time, and I've been cutting out like a lot. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna disappear for say 20 minutes so I can get everything prepared. I want all of you beautiful people to find me something to read, and it could be like important to you, and I'll treat it with that much significance. I'll treat it with that much respect. Or if you want me to read something silly, I'll also read something silly. You want me to do it in a certain voice, I'll do it in a certain voice. I'm pretty open to suggestions. So yeah. So until we return, everyone, good night and good fight.